Hey y'all, this is the first in a series of videos about one of my favorite Jamie command normals, the Hermit's Elbow, aka Back Heavy Punch. This isn't an exhaustive list of how you can use Back Heavy Punch, and as I was making this video, I kept realizing new potential applications. This video will include applications that I am currently using in my matches successfully, as well as concepts from the Jamie Discord, Hatson, and my own exploration. I'm sure I didn't get everything, so if you have some ways that you like to use Back Heavy Punch on offense, let me know in the comments below. We will mostly be focused on how to apply this move in offensive applications, and in another video, I'll be covering the Hermit's Elbow in neutral and on defense. But you can see me using Back Heavy Punch for defense and in neutral in the intro video if you want some ideas to hold you over in the meantime. If you find this video helpful, and if you're interested in various general Street Fighter 6 techniques like parry traps, Jamie, or Terry Tech, I'd love a like and a subscription. For any specific parts, check the timestamps below. Let's get started. Hermit's Elbow is great as an auto whiff punish tool when used in conjunction with most of Jamie's normals, but some are better than others. And as with whiff punishes in general, it's all spacing dependent, so you'll want to use the right button before using Back Heavy Punch, taking into account which of your moves is best at that space, as well as which buttons your opponent is most likely to use. As a general rule, most of our buttons that are safe on block can be used as a primer for Back Heavy Punch. Our lights are pretty decent for baiting some slower lights and mediums. Our mediums are good against mediums and most heavies, except for sweeps. And two of our heavy buttons, forward heavy kick and neutral heavy kick, with forward heavy kick being my preferred one, are good for baiting mediums, heavies, and sweeps. It's pretty fortunate that most of our buttons are great for making the almighty crouch medium kick whiff against all of the cast, and I think that is a huge tool in helping Jamie win his matches, because we can't just be abused with crouch medium kick if we are effectively using the Hermit's Elbow. The only buttons that aren't that good for whiff punishing with backwards heavy punch for Jamie are standing heavy punch, crouching light punch, crouching medium kick, and our sweep. But these can still be used for general space traps, and crouching light punch can work as a delay tech bait when used with Back Heavy Punch. So there is still use for applying some of these buttons with Back Heavy Punch. Now I'll address my favorite normals to use as a backwards heavy punch starter and any specific notes for each of them. The only button that can consistently punish lights with 5-frame startup is our standing medium punch. This is our only plus on block normal, so it makes sense that those couple frames of advantage would help us catch some whiffed lights. Most 4-frame lights are safe after standing medium punch except for JP's crouch light punch and Zangief's crouch light kick. This button also works pretty well as a jack of all trades against a lot of buttons as long as you stick near the edge range of the button that you're trying to punish. For reference, you can be up close if you're trying to punish lights, at a medium range if you're trying to punish mediums, and at the furthest range if you're trying to punish further reaching mediums and even some heavies. Standing medium kick works like a different version of our standing medium punch. While it loses the ability to deal with lights as well as standing medium punch because it is no longer plus on block, it has a longer range and is cancelable. At its end ranges, it can make sweeps whiff, and it's definitely worth using when your opponent is trying to take their turn back. That being said, you can also just do a little bit of a wish punish with standing medium kick again to catch people trying to take their turn back. Both standing light kick and our one drink standing light punch are great and have similar pushback. Standing light punch has a bit more range, and standing light kick is -1 to standing light punch's -3. I haven't noticed much difference in the frame data helping me punish a move, but standing light kick did seem a bit more consistent for me when it came to using Hermit's Elbow to punish Lily's crouching heavy punch, for example. So just play with them and see which situations seem best for you. Standing light kick is a great move if you're going against Zangief or Marissa to break armor though, so you can definitely keep that in mind. I feel like standing light punch is slightly easier for me to use personally, but both are great, and standing light punch can even make crouch medium kicks whiff without back heavy punch if you space it well enough. I love forward heavy kick as a primer for Hermit's elbow. Once you learn how to hit it at its end ranges, it can make pretty much tons of normals with back heavy punch done after, and aside from that, it can create a space trap for crouch medium kick without back heavy punch if you want. Also, if you mess the spacing up a bit and they are doing crouch medium kick, it's easy enough to put a back heavy punch after to save yourself. It feels great to use against standing medium kicks and sweeps. Depending on the spacing and character, for example, I couldn't ever get more than +5 from Terry, back heavy punch can be up to +8. Unfortunately, there aren't any big visual cues to know when you are more plus, so it's best to play with it on your own to see when you are more than +5. If y'all would like a video on some setups to get more plus with back heavy punch and against which characters it's easiest to get extra frame advantage, let me know in the comments and I can cook that up for y'all. Thankfully, when you are more than +5 after using Hermit's elbow, generally you are spaced well enough to use the corresponding button. For example, if you're +6, you can usually hit your crouch medium punch. +7, you can usually hit your crouch medium kick. Pretty much all the block strings Jamie can do can either lead into space traps against certain buttons or into backwards heavy punch to increase the efficacy of the space traps. Here are a couple that I use and what buttons they work best against generally. I'll talk about some frame trapping block strings first, and then a couple true block strings. 3 light strings. These feel pretty interchangeable, but if you do a string with 2 chained crouching light kicks instead, it seems to give more pushback than 2 non-consecutive crouching light kicks in a string. I thought maybe by staying crouched it gave more pushback, but it seems to be a priority of just the chained crouch light kick. So here is an example of our 3 light strings with the least to most pushback. The first 3 strings will set up the backwards heavy punch punish, and the last block string I'll show you doesn't really work with backwards heavy punch, but it's nice as a general space trap. Now here is each of the block strings in order of least to most pushback. Our closest block string leaves you in range for using Hermit's elbow against pretty much every normal crouching medium kick in the game, regardless of the frame data. If you want to catch people walking back, you should definitely do the one with the crouching light kick in the middle. And I would say the one that finishes with 2 standing light kicks is probably our best bang for your buck option, since it seems to fit and counter a lot of different scenarios when combined with the Hermit's elbow. Standing medium punch followed by 1 drink standing light punch works really well against crouching medium kicks. You can also use crouching light punch for shorter range moves. If you're trying to whiff punish 7 frame crouching medium kicks though, you'll need to default to standing light kick or crouching medium punch after the standing medium punch. As far as true strings go, I think the easiest one to apply is target combo, drivers cancel into crouching light punch. This can work as a tick throw bait against all size characters. If you're not worried about true strings, any of our plus on block buttons after a drive rush can also work as tick throw bait. OD Rekka is kind of a get out of jail free card. It is a true string from crouching medium punch, standing medium kick, standing heavy kick, and crouching heavy punch, and it can frame trap off of standing light punch target combo or standing light kick. And it trades with +11 or more when cancelled from crouching light punch. On block, it spaces you well enough to do backwards heavy punch and whiff punish against crouching medium kick or most standing heavy punches. It's definitely a great tool to get some damage and take your turn back. So now that you've punished with backwards heavy punch, what is your next option? So we pretty much can go into target combo. We can go into our standing heavy punch if we are less then 3 drinks in pretty consistently. Or we can single hit confirm into our super. So if you're trying to cash out, single hit confirming into super is going to be the best bang for your buck. It's going to give you about 1,000 more damage than any other route. The caveat with that is if you're going to go into super 1, target combo actually gets you about 100 more damage. If you don't get the single hit confirm into super, going into standing heavy punch and then canceling into super is kind of your second best bet. So that's what I have for you today on how you can level up your usage of the Hermit's Elbow in offense. If you like this video, if you learned something, I would definitely appreciate a like and a subscribe. I'll be working on Hermit's Elbow for defense, as well as what changes for us when we get to our level 3 drink backwards heavy punch. I was going to do all of this as one big giant backwards heavy punch video, but it seemed to drag on a little bit too long, so I hope you appreciate this slightly shorter video and me releasing the next ones as their own separate videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.